Hello, fellow traders. Nutty Bar Trading coming to you on a Saturday, May 20th. And this is the summary report for week number 3, my weekly summary report. In this video, we'll be going over this week's trades using TRADEZELLA, and I'll also be briefly talking about some changes that I'm going to make going forward, and talk briefly about why. And yeah, hopefully you can stick around for that. I'm going to first review really quickly just a summary of how the week went. That way, those that are just interested in that, you don't have to hang around, I guess, if I happen to ramble on about why I'm making some changes. Also, just if you're new here, created this channel approximately 5 weeks ago, and basically to journal my trading journey with Apex Trader Funding. I am currently trading 19 funded accounts, which will soon be 20 funded accounts. And yeah, basically, this channel, it is very important to me to be fully transparent. So all my trades are live. And then I also do a summary report at the end of every day where I'll show my profit and loss, and yeah, you'll see everything. I always say you'll see the good, bad, and ugly. So if that is something you enjoy, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Also, I just shout out to everyone that has subscribed and that is following along. I really appreciate it. It means a lot and just gives me extra motivation to continue doing this. And yeah, just the support has been greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's just jump right in. And first, we're just going to quickly review my week. Let's just change this to this week. Okay, so this week, we ended the week in profit, which is a step in the right direction. And we're going to count that as a win. Obviously, would have liked to see a little better week, but it's okay. We will take these baby steps and build off of it. I've had a lot of red weeks to start off this journey. If you're new here, we definitely did not start off on this journey on the right foot. Not how I envisioned it, which is why we're making some changes. And if you stick around, I will explain that. But just briefly reviewing the trades, on Monday, had 2 trades. I'll just briefly look at the notes. It was it was a really choppy day. I was happy. Only took 2 trades, 2 small win. Basically, 1 break even, 1 small win. So I was very happy with that. I was patient and didn't get stuck in the chop zone. Moving on to Tuesday, basically started the day off with a loss and then followed it up with 2 smaller wins. Looking at my note here, started off with a loss but fought my way back with the next 2 trades, but got stopped out again on both my runners. And here I'm mentioning I'm getting ready to call it quits on my runners, which my runners have just not been working out. On my ATM strategy, the way it was I would take 4 contracts, 4 micro contracts, and I'd take 2 off at 10 ticks, take profit off, and then the rest I would try and get a runner going, and I move my stop to break even +1. And I would just get stopped out a lot. Just did not seem to have any luck with it. Now, moving to Wednesday, started the day off again with a loss. And then let me just look at the notes. Great day overall, started off with a loss, but had a great re-entry and a win right after. On that day, I was very, very happy that I was able to, after getting stopped out immediately after, I had another entry and I took it. And then that ended up being a winning trade. And then my next trade, I was able to get a runner going, which was really good and kind of makes me think maybe I'll keep the ATM strategy and trying to do the runners, keep it around for maybe a little bit longer. But I do need to see some results with that, or I'm just going to start taking my profit at my 8 to 10 tick price and look for my next trade. But yeah, overall, this was a good day. I was happy with that. And then Thursday happened. And if you look, the dollar amount, $1,200 loss isn't huge. It wasn't that big of a deal. But it was kind of the way that the day went down. It was very frustrating. My notes here, my journaling, very frustrating day. Started off the day with connection issues, caused me to miss a perfect setup, and then I got stopped out by one tick on my next trade. Then I follow that up with a revenge trade. Bad overall, and I might change my strategy after today. Yeah, basically that sums it up. It was a terrible, kind of a perfect storm. I was actually looking back at it, I'm very happy that I did take that one revenge trade, which was this one right here, for a very small loss. I took my contract size down to just one contract, and obviously still wasn't good, but I didn't go on full tilt. I took that revenge trade, realized what I was doing, and I shut everything down, and that was it for the day. So minimal damage, but it was a very frustrating day, and it caused me to really think about some things and how I've been trading these funded accounts in comparison with how I did trade my evaluation accounts. And yeah, if you hang around, I'll kind of go more in detail with that. Then on Friday, it was the Fed. Powell was speaking that day. It was a lot of chop and a lot of volatility. I ended up taking one trade on a momentum trade and took a nice win on it. Nothing major, but that is how I ended my day. So that is a very brief overview of the week. If I go back and just show actually year to date, that's easier. Obviously, you can see here when I started this funded journey, had some really bad days. This day here, obviously losing 9K in one day. That was terrible. Me completely going off the rails and not following my rules, and I pay the price. Thankfully, I do have a daily stop loss that I put on every funded account that I have using the Rhythmic Trader Pro. To do that, thankfully, that stopped the bloodshed. But basically, we had that day, and then we had this day right here, where it was just a terrible day. Honestly, on this day, I didn't really go on tilt, or it wasn't that I wasn't following my rules. We literally just had 5 straight losing trades, and very demoralizing. Just not seeing the market well, just boom, each trade. I can even click on each trade and you can see it wasn't even like I was in profit at some point. It was just boom, immediately I would just get stopped out. So overall, it was just a bad day. And yeah, what can you do? You're going to have some of those days. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. We're now going to spend a little bit of time talking about how I'm changing a little bit of my strategy and why. Excuse me. So I started trading my evaluation accounts when I started this channel. I was trading my evaluation accounts. I still had 9 more accounts to get funded. And I'll actually just briefly show the one thing that I really like about TRADEZELLA is I can differentiate and basically create 2 separate accounts to track things separately. So on my evaluation accounts, this is only showing my evaluation accounts. And basically, when I got my evaluation accounts funded and I started trading the 19 funded accounts, I started trading differently. And it actually, what kind of caused me to really rethink things was that trade that day on Thursday. But also, I'm not going to name any names, but you might know who you are, and it's fine. But I actually, someone else was watching my live stream, also a day trader in a live stream, and they were actually watching me, and they made a comment that I am the definition of having the fear of losing. And it was a little bit hard to hear maybe, but I was like, you know what? He's right. I actually am. And it really caused me to just be honest with myself. And I did. I was trading with a fear of losing, and it shows. And I know in this world of trading, if we have a fear of losing and that is what we're focused on, we will not be successful. I know that, and anyone that has been focusing and has that fear of losing, where I think like everyone has a fear of losing, but if that is what is controlling you, then you will see this P&L. So I really did some self-assessment and was honest with myself and like, okay, that is right. I think he's right. Now the question was, what do I do to get over that? And I know that there's been a lot of people that have suggested that I should split up my accounts and I should only be trading 4 accounts or 2 accounts or 1 account and get them to pay out and so on and so forth. And a lot of people have different advice, and I do appreciate everyone's advice. It's genuine advice. People are trying to help. And it's not that it's bad advice either. So I do take that in consideration for sure. And it's something that I have been thinking about doing. I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger yet on switching and breaking up my accounts. What what I'm going to do, what I'm going to change is I want to trade like I used to trade my evaluation accounts. And that is trading solely based on price action, looking at prior support resistance areas, but then looking at the price action and entering and exiting trades based on price action. And that's something I stopped doing when I traded these funded accounts. When these funded accounts, I started trading them, I narrowed everything down to only trading the one specific strategy with a very specific entry. I thought I was, and with that, I also made my stop losses a lot tighter, thinking that I'm going to have better entries. And, thinking back, it all comes back to that fear of losing. And I was basically trying to get these pinpoint perfect entries and minimize my risk management as much as possible. And I need to have risk management, obviously, but I was being so tight, it wasn't allowing me to be successful. And then with that fear of losing, I was also cutting my winners short, and I was getting out of trades that I had no business getting out of. Price action, nothing warranted bailing on the trade. It was just me with a fear of losing and missing out on some really good trades. And that takes a toll on you mentally. Missing out is almost as bad as having a losing trade mentally for me. So anyway, just thinking everything over, I was like, I need to take the chains off, so to speak. And I want to trade like I'm comfortable trading. And that is trading price action. And that means there's different strategies that I trade. If I see a big gap up in the morning and price action is showing that it wants to fill that gap, I'm going to take that trade. And there was numerous times in the past couple weeks where I saw the price action and I'm like, yeah, I see this. I think this, this is the move that's coming, but I wouldn't take the trade because it wasn't that specific entry for my specific strategy that I was trying to only trade. And then the market would do what I was looking for it to do, yet I was sitting on the sideline. And that takes a toll. So that's my change. Now, with that change, I also am going to scale down on my contract size. Basically, at least, I don't want to go in with big size for now. I want to go in with basically 2 micro contracts, but trade the way that I used to trade my evaluation accounts. Now, the downside to that, where I have struggled in the past with that type of trading, is making sure that I don't overtrade. So that's definitely something I am going to be very aware of when I'm trading, is that I don't overtrade and that I don't look for trades just to be in trades. So I'm well aware of that danger, and something I definitely will be mindful of. So it's kind of I'm really excited, and I kind of feel sounds weird, but I feel free. I feel free to trade the way that I used to trade with my evaluation accounts. And obviously, still the biggest thing is to have good risk management. And having that daily stop loss to protect the accounts, to protect my drawdown, and having just good risk management per trade. So that is definitely number one important. And now the second thing that I want to talk a little bit about is that fear of losing. And, the question is, how do you get over that? How do you get over the fear of losing? And I think there's different approaches that you can do. And I'm not saying that what I'm going to do is the best way at all. Like, I think some people look at it as, okay, you should size down to where you're only trading one account so that you don't have that fear. And I understand that kind of, but my initial thought was, isn't that just avoiding the fear, not facing it? Is kind of what I think of, but I kind of look at it like this. If someone has a fear of an elevator, like they just are terrified of entering an elevator, if let's say they have a desire to get over that fear, like they truly want to, maybe they have a job where they need to use an elevator, and in order to be successful, they have to get over that fear. They're not going to get over that fear if they just continue to take the stairs. The only way to get over that fear is to start using the elevator. And it's going to take time. And really, that's the only way that I can think of to really get over that fear. And that is to face it and push through it almost. So, I mean, obviously, I think it's kind of a first step is just admitting and understanding that I have that fear. I was maybe a little bit in denial, but understanding it and then mentally preparing for that every day, mentally preparing for when I'm in a trade, I need to first predetermine my exit when I go into a trade. Like that's number one. And then I need to follow the price action, follow the chart. I need to really focus on following what is on my chart, not my profit and loss when I exit trades. So if that is, exiting early, not allowing it room to breathe, I need to look at the price action in the chart as objectively as I can and look at that. And I know it's not going to be easy and it's going to be a challenge, but I almost need to look at it like I'm not in a trade and mentally like push through it. And that's what right now I feel like that is what I need to do. For me to become the trader that I want to be, I need to push through this stage. And like my thought is if I just scale down from only trading one funded account, that it's just kind of avoiding that fear. And it's not really fixing the root cause. Like I want to push through it where I'm not saying, any trader I think that enters a trade is going to have that small fear or anxiety or a little bit of stress, but the really good ones know how to manage it. They know how to deal with their anxiety or with their fear. They know how to channel it and they know how to get over that. So that is what I need to learn, and that's what I'm going to focus on these coming weeks. I'm not, I'm not a perfect trader by any means, as it's, pretty obvious. I'm still learning, and that is kind of the step that I want to take. I want to push through it. I want to challenge myself to get over that fear and to become a better trader. And I'm excited for the challenge and I'm up for it. Hopefully that makes sense. That is kind of the summary of this video and kind of the change and kind of going forward. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Also, we're already 22 minutes in. If you're still watching, thank you. Again, just thank you everyone for your support. And I think we'll sign off from there. Hopefully we will see you Monday morning on my live stream. But I hope everyone has a great weekend. And again, we'll see you Monday morning. Take care.